recording. So I'm going to record this session, and of course, I'm going to show my face for a while, and then I'll turn off the camera. I'll show my face so that you don't think you're talking to Angel Michael. Okay. Yeah. So, good evening, everyone, once again. It's really great to meet you, to share some time of knowledge with you guys. I'm grateful. So, I'm going to go straight ahead to walk us through what I have for us this night for like an hour or even less than that. All right. I hope I'm audible enough. Oh,
Yes, yes, please.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so this is the boot camp briefing. Some rules to guide us so that we don't so that we kind of like will be well organized, right? So, okay, thank you. So the first one is the content we'll be covering. We'll have the data analysis with Microsoft Excel. Yeah, some errors actually will be accepted for now, but when I'm reading out the rules and regulation, you understand that there are things that is not acceptable. So, uh, this should be dossier. Yeah, let me mute you. So, we're going to cover introduction to Excel, formulas and functions, cell referencing, and then we'll dwell a lot on pivot table and see how we can apply it. Also, we are going to discuss data visualization with Microsoft Excel. I think this should be Microsoft Power BI, not Excel. This is just, yeah,
Okay.
Power BI. So we're going to, look at the navigation, the key features of Power BI, and then how we can use it to visualize our data and draw insight out of it. Also, we need to know here that we are not going to just jump straight into using this Power BI tool. We are going to first go through the process of understanding the type of charts, framing questions that we intend to answer with charts. So before we now dwell deep into Power BI as a tool itself. Then we'll also discuss prompt engineering. Here we are going to be focused on the evolution of AI agents, uh, three common prompt techniques for reasoning LLM, and then using AI to brainstorm, which is actually a very important part. Just a little bit of let me give you an idea of what we'll talk about using on this point, using AI to brainstorm. We are going to look at the conventional way humans brainstorm, right? There's actually a framework to brainstorming, and then how you can adopt those framework in AI, in ChatGPT or any LLM, any types of LLM to, ensure that you have the best result from those AI agents or AI models. Then we are going to also talk about alternative prompting for everyday use. For instance, crafting cover letter, sending an email. You know, you shouldn't be using LLM like the way you use Google when you want to search. For instance, your laptop is not charging. You just go to Google and start typing, when my laptop stop charging, how do I go about it? What should I not do? And then you start writing long stories. And then when you get all those random answers from Google, you're like, why is Google not working well? It's not giving you the right answer. The same way we approach LLMs, right? Like ChatGPT and DeepSeek and the rest, the same way we approach them. So, but then there's a better way of, framing your prompt such that you get good result out of it. Okay. The other one is the prerequisite to this. I will share a document with you for you to install Power BI on your laptop for those with laptop. And then by default, I expect you to have Microsoft Office, right? And of course, good internet connectivity. As I'm talking to you right now, Smile is not smiling at me. If you know Smile Network, it's very poor, it's not working. MTN that I will never recommend for those who are into serious relationship. Somehow MTN proves to be working fine this evening. So what that simply means is that try to have at least more than one network, especially if you're in Nigeria. You just cannot escape that one, so that we can we can have a very good experience throughout this session. And also, I will have to pray that none of my network have issues because I don't use Airtel, I don't use Glo. And the reason for that is their network is terrible. Before you can use it, you have to climb a palm tree. Yeah. So, and I will not recommend anyone to climb a palm tree to have access to network. So, our housekeeping rules, we have to abide by this rule to help us to be well organized. The first one is that all lecture we hold live on Zoom. We are all here. We would have used Google Meet, but then Google Meet will not take the free version of Google Meet cannot take us. And then the money they're asking for, they will get it sometimes in the future, not now. So we have to make do with my very dear friend Irom Afzal, who she's a very nice person. She decided to give me her account so that I can use it to, share knowledge with you guys, right? So the other one here is that each session will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. In this case, if you miss it, I'll just share the link to YouTube with you so that you go to YouTube. I am not going to be uploading the recorded version and then, be sending it to everyone individually. Lecture holds Fridays and Saturday. Yeah, actually, this should be 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays, not 9 p.m. to 10, right? We'll stick to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays. Then Saturdays will be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the next 6 weeks. Then everyone is expected to join with PC so that you can have a good experience. You can enjoy the session. However, if you fail to have a laptop that you can use to join this session, one of the things I would advise you to do is always take a screenshot of each page of the presentation. Any changes, take the screenshot so that you can follow up later on when you now have your laptop. Then at the end of this course, we'll be divided into groups, and then you'll be given a mini project to work on so that you can do presentations. Okay, are we clear here? Are we okay? Are we okay here? Let me know. Hello?
Yes, well,
Okay, so
yes. Okay.
it's very important that we interact.
Yes, we
From
are.
my end, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Then we'll go to the next one. Participation is highly recommended for all sessions. This one is very, very important. The reason why it's important is that I'm going to give you a little bit of gossip. Let me call it. Is it maybe it's a gossip or maybe it's a lie? I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm not supposed to tell you. That's what I'm saying. So, according to Pastor Olumide, for those of you who know Pastor Olumide, he said I should keep track of those people who in prayer department registered, and then I should give him list of those who actually went through the process till the end. So those who are inactive or registered and they did not participate or whatever, he's also going to have their list. And then next time, they may not have the opportunity to join not just my session, but any other session. It may be difficult to have them join because they don't have a good record of being active after registering. Then the other thing is that endeavor to use the chat area or raising your hand, using the raising hand features if you want to speak. All participants are expected to mute their mics. And we are also encouraging you to seek an area that is free from any form of discomfort, right? So you shouldn't be in a noisy environment. You shouldn't be in an environment where they are arguing or making noise, watching football or something. So all communication is going to be through the approved channel. We have WhatsApp, we have Slack, we have email. Any other thing from that, you have to take responsibility. And the reason for this is that we actually have people who are not from Koinonia who joined. I mean, I can't track them all, but I know there are some of them, right? So, and I can't defend them. I can't say they are good people or they are bad people. So anything can happen at any time. I've been scammed by someone who hacked into my friend's phone, and then I thought I was still chatting with my friend when she said, "Can you just help me? Someone is in the hospital right now. It's my brother. I just needed 15,000." It never occurred to me. I never thought that could happen to me because, haba, I have never been hacked my entire life. It's not because they did not try, but I was way, way, way beyond that level for me to be tricked easily. But then I thought I was talking to my friend. I sent 15K and then he now said, "If you can please just make it 20, is it 30K or 35K?" I was like, oh, I fall for this. It was a big mistake. That was when I knew I have just sent someone money. 15K that I'm supposed to use to eat pepper soup. I sent it to somebody. So please endeavor to use the right communication channel, the approved ones. Okay. Here is Abba Antonia. She's a business intelligence analyst. She's in the group, the WhatsApp group with us. So she's one of the teaching assistants. If you have issues, you reach out to her. Her focus is majorly on Power BI. So maybe, if time permits, one of the sessions we are going to have her, share her experience. Then we also have Raphael Ahmed. He's a data scientist. He's also from the prayer department. He's also going to be one of our teaching assistants to offer supports and also to ensure that everything is put in place. So he's one of our brother from the prayer department. He's also a data scientist and he's here to help us as well. Then we have David Michael, who is also a data and BI analyst. He's actually supposed to take the Excel part, but then he is quite occupied. So I most likely will be taking his session. And whoever, I think the other person I'll present next, if he's also available, he will take part of the Excel session. So he's also one of the teaching assistants. We have Abdullahi Adeza. He's a data analyst. We're working with one of these banks in Lagos. So he's also here as a teaching assistant. He's going to be, feel free to reach out to him on WhatsApp. All of them, any of them, feel free to reach out. But anything that has to do with community management, you reach out to Miss Christiana. She's the one managing the entire community. And yeah, here you have me. I am a data engineer as well as an AI engineer. I actually graduated or left AI engineering and moved into data engineering full time. And yeah, I will be taking most of the classes. I did not just come about it because I was you know, thinking of what to do, right? Or maybe just trying to come up with something. But I came up with this from the place of prayer, and it's not a prayer of guiltiness or something, right? I have like 10 programs, 10 programs that I personally run for God, right? So I was surprised when I was praying and I was asking God to cast his burden, and then he told me to teach his people, and I was like, boot camp of everything, like boot camp. I was shocked. Let me be sincere with you. I was like, who will need boot camp? Like, there are so many courses out there. They could take any course. And even though I was having that thought, I decided to go ahead and then, start putting things in place to organize this, right? So let me check in case someone cannot hear me. Let me see. Uh, okay, I'm trying to check. It's God, it's me. Okay, thank you. I was like, oh, let me be sure that network has not misbehaved. So I was very surprised when God said so. So I said, let me start pushing. And the beautiful thing is that actually I have Grokin Analytics Inc. registered. I was only using it for consulting, consulting to, to people, individuals and also to companies in terms of building data analytics solution, right? And the funny part of it is that I've used it for like 2 years. I didn't register it. I didn't register it. It was this year that Elijah, do you have something to say? Okay. So I wasn't thinking of using this to create any bootcamp, but then all of a sudden here we are. So before we go into introduction to data analysis, I would like to, excuse me. Okay. So I will take us to see our plan, right? Our plan for the next couple of weeks. So I hope you can see this. So the first Friday, which is an hour, we are going to have general introduction and housekeeping, which is what we are doing now. Saturday, which is tomorrow, we are going to talk about introduction to Excel interface, shortcuts, formula and functions, and how to apply them. Then next week, we'll talk about cell referencing, data manipulation, data wrangling and manipulation. And then on Saturday, we'll dwell on pivot table, right? That's for next week. When we are done with that, we'll go into the following week, we'll talk about Power BI and the navigation, the interfaces. Then that's the Friday. The Saturday, we'll talk about data visualization with Power BI. We're going to use Power BI to build dashboards, some dashboard that it's going to be a practical session so that you can see how you frame your questions. What question do you intend to answer with the visualization? And the reason why this is even better is that you have the opportunity to try out things on your own, and then you have the opportunity to ask for direct mentorship. I just don't want to waste a lot of our time. If not, I would have tell you how I started my career and how I got here. This is like the seventh year. Yeah, the seventh year in my career. I would have shared that with you, but I saved that for a special day, which I will show you in this calendar. Introduction to DAX is what we'll also discuss. Then we're going to have revision. After the revision, we'll now go into prompt engineering. That revision is meant for everyone to, if you have questions that you still think has not been answered properly, or you have a particular subtopic you think should be discussed again. We are going to discuss that one, right? Then we are going to have an e-test. This test will determine if you'll be certified or not. Okay. Then we're going to have career session. Let me shift this so that you can see it. Yeah, we're going to have career Q&A session. So I'm going to invite some of my friends from the industry. So we're going to have a session where we'll share a survey form so that you can bring up some questions. In this career Q&A session, we are going to, ask questions and then we will answer you. I think this is the period where I will now share my story about my career with you, how God has helped me to build my career over time. And then how I have decided to japa and japa and japa, and God held me by the waist and said, you're not jappering anywhere now. You are staying here. So no running, right? And after that, we are going to discuss, we're going to have a general revision on all topics, everything we've discussed. We're going to dedicate the last week to see if anyone still have any confusion and all that. So also prepare your mind. I'm going to have any of those free vouchers to write certification in any of the courses that is related to what we are doing. I'm going to share them so that you also participate. The reason how it normally works is that they are going to have their own session, like tutorial session. Then if you attend the tutorial session, sometimes it's like from morning, is it morning till evening? I've forgotten, or 3 hours or 4 hours or so. So if you attend all of this, if you attend the entire 4-hour session, then they will now give you a voucher to write their exam so that you can be certified as professional Power BI person or and so on and so forth. That is one aspect of it. For those in business, for those in health, in other domains, do not worry. If you can write the certification, fine. If you cannot write it, one thing you are certain about is that everything we are going to be discussing in this course, we are going to make sure that we relate it to your domain, right? So that you can see how you can start leveraging data for better decision. I'm still going to ask you some interesting questions today. So for now, are we clear here? Do you understand this timetable or is it confusing? Are we good?
It's clear, sir.
Okay.
It's clear, sir.
Thank you. And I understand this may seem awkward, but
It's clear.
thank you. You see, the idea of saying sir, let us discuss it a little. It's very important to have a discussion in that aspect. You see, in Nigeria, it's part of our culture that we say sir in order to show that we are respectful, we are considerate, we have regards. However, in the industry, you really don't need that. You can just say it's Claire Joe or it's Claire Joseph. That's it. So even if you're a professor, nobody really cares. In the industry, nobody cares. Even if you're the CEO, nobody cares. They will just come in and call your name. It's normal. It's kind of a liberal way of thinking in the industry. So I would prefer you stick to that so that when you are saying sir, you not start making me feel like I should start fatherhood. I don't know. Let me not say something that is not nice. But then the truth is there's no need to be including that. Sir. I saw a lot of chat on WhatsApp. Many of us were doing sir. I was like, okay, when am I going to tell these people no more, sir? Let's reserve this, sir. Right? So now we go into, before we leave here, let me see. Some people just have this habit of adding pepper to pepper soup. I don't understand because it's already a pepper soup. Why will you want to add pepper to it? Okay, you can just chat me up on WhatsApp. I think I shared the number. You should be there. Let me. Oh, that's not correct. But just add 080. Let me see. Or this person should chat you up. Miss Christiana should chat you up, and then yeah, you can. Yeah, I accept the honor. The honor does not need to be sir and ma. Hmm? It's something that is okay. Thank you. So let's go to the next one. Introduction to data analysis. So we are going to first, what is data analytics? When you say data analytics, I mean, you're basically saying the same thing, right? But what you're, let me minimize this so that we can see the entire screen. So what we are discussing here is that it's a process, it's a method or technique of, inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data. And the entire goal is to ensure that we are able to draw useful and very good conclusion, right? So in order to carry out what you're talking about, once you're talking about data analysis, you're simply saying it is a process that involves defining objectives. You must always have an objective. An example for what I'm saying, let me look if there's any question. I have to disconnect because my phone is about to shut down. I will join back as soon as I can. Yeah, it's fine. So, one thing with data analytics is that you must always start with defining objectives. You don't just see data and you jump into it because you want to show that you are a Harry Potter, you have magic wand, right? Objectives must be defined, and then those objectives that are defined, with that objective, you now go to the field and collect data. The data you collect, which is the step 2, now leads to data cleaning, pre-processing, because the data you collect is going to be messy. As long as it's human that is entering those data, it's always not going to be right. For instance, you go to Facebook. If I go to one of you's Facebook page to collect images now, do you know what will happen? Some of your images back in 2010, oh goodness, your head is almost tilted at angle 45, and then your leg is at angle 90. So you see, such images, I cannot use them. But then if we compare it to the images you have currently, they are wonderful, beautiful. Some of you with your wives and your husbands, right? So if we want to make sense of those data, what do we now do? We have to take the ones you've posted in 2010, 2009. We have to pre-process it. We have to clean it. We have to crop it. We have to enhance it so that it can look better, something compared to what we currently have. Okay. So that's the entire data cleaning and pre-processing. And I'm talking with regards to images. When you come to tabular data, the ones you have on Excel sheet, columns and rows, it's also it has a different approach to cleaning the data. Then we'll also talk about exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis is simply, talking about understanding the pattern within the data by exploring the data. All right. And then we also have the statistical analysis. In this case, while exploratory data analysis is majorly talking about visualization, you have the line chart, bar charts, and all that. Statistical analysis is majorly talking about descriptive analysis, right? In this case, we are still going to talk about that. We are talking about trying to understand the maximum, minimum value, um, you know, designing an A/B test or A/B test, yeah, an experiment like an A/B test. When you say A/B test, basically what you're saying is if you are selling cap, if you are a cap seller, I don't know, I mentioned cap because I'm seeing Dozier's cap, maybe that's why. So if you're a cap seller, you have blue cap and then you have red cap. You want to know which one does customer prefer the most. That's where you design those experiment, an A/B test experiment, and then you use that to decide which one is more valuable to the customers. Then the last phase of any data analysis project is to have visualization and communication. You have your report ready, right? Now you have to communicate your report. And that is actually one of the places that most people find it challenging. It's not all about how good you can speak. In this case, is okay. William, scroll up. You see my phone number there. You join, right? So, let me just it's Christiana say I'm a hard seller. Yeah. So imagine you want to be able to compare which of those hats is more common, like which one do they prefer? Which one do your clients prefer? That's where you need to start looking at some analysis, right? So we are still going to talk about this. We're going to relate to a lot of things in this course. We really, it's not just about the course. It's not just about doing uh data analytics course, right? It's something that is going to prime your curiosity. You're going to begin to ask yourself questions in so many ways, in career path, in businesses. You are going to be questioning, how am I doing this thing before? Why am I doing it the way I'm doing them before? How can I improve it now? You see, if you go to a maybe a career fair session or something, this question I just asked can be asked as well. But the difference between you and them now is that you are going to be supporting your own with data. Apostle once said something very, very profound. And I don't know who else remembers it, but I think I still remember it. He says some of you does not know how much you spend in a week. You can't tell us, do you know normally I spend 15K every week or 20K every week? You don't have an estimate. Anything that comes in goes out. You are just there. Not you are not dead, you are not alive, you are not this is not to condemn anybody, please don't get me wrong. But I'm just trying to say that you are not you need to the entire course is going to shift your thinking so that you are not driven by just intuition, but rather you are also driven by data data in terms of making decisions. You're also driven by data. You're applying it to your own life, you're applying it to your business, you're applying it to everything around you. So let's quickly look at this. Here we have the importance of data analytics, or why is data analytics important? The first one is making informed decision, right? Now, the essence of this is that you have more control, you reduce risk, you have better outcomes, transparency and accountability. You see, one of the way you see a red flag for people who look for red flag. Me, I'm a Jesus boy. I don't have energy to look for red flag. Whatever you do, you are forgiven in Jesus' name. I don't have energy to tell you, you see, if not that I love Jesus today, tomorrow if you try it, I will package you. I don't have energy for that. Whether you do it today, you do it tomorrow, or you do it yesterday, you have to be forgiven. But one of the things with making informed decision, why I'm telling you that one is because you need to understand that one of the easiest way to have red flag in any relationship is a relationship that lacks transparency and accountability. Oga, we did not speak yesterday. What happened? Madam, you don't have right to ask me what happened. You don't have right to, can't I be busy? I am working on something. Yeah, once accountability becomes an issue, that's a red flag, right? Now we are also bringing that into data as well. That data helps you to be transparent and accountable because everything you are doing, you are honest with yourself. I have an NGO that I run, that I have for myself, based on what God asks me to do. But do you know that this NGO, almost every penny that I've gone out for the last 3 years, I can give you a record of them, right? We have a record of them, which students, the phone number, the school, the name of the school where the money was paid to, right? So it's not to boast or to be proud of something. Rather, the essence of having it is that, one of the things we mentioned in informed decision making is that we can have more control, right? And also we can have transparency and accountability. One of the essence of it is that I actually look at it the first year and I was like, this is all we could do last year. This year I want us to do better. And that year I wanted us to do better. I think I increased the number of pupils that we reach out to increased by how many percent? Is it up to 200%? Like it was a lot, right? Like we outdo the previous year like it's nothing. So the essence of gathering your data, analyzing it, is that it gives you a control. You can look at your past and then you can look at the future and you can say, okay, for the future, we need to set a better target. And this leads to this third point here, which is better outcomes, right? You should have a better outcome if you are making informed decision. Then another one here is to identify trends and pattern. For instance, if I'm to go back to that NGO, one of the things I think I have not done is to be able to identify trends and patterns using data. The essence of using trends and pattern is that you'll be able to tell which particular period of the year do parents find it difficult to pay school fees. Is it at the beginning of the year? Is it at the middle of the year? Or is it towards the end of the year? Now, you may just use your thinking and say, I think it should be at the beginning of the year. They've chopped rice, they've chopped chicken, they don't have money again, they are back. Now it's difficult for them to pay school fees because ideally, that's how it should be. But sometimes you can find it very interesting that they may not have the issue. And then they may actually be having that issue maybe at the middle of the year when everything should be stable, right? But your data should be the one to tell you. When you are working with data, one of the things you should never forget, don't assume. No matter what you know, don't assume. Don't say, oh, I know. I know. The people in Mabuchi, they used to be hungry around 2 p.m. I know. I've seen them. I see one mala buying and they stay one certain time. So they used to have that issue. Don't do that. Because the day it will fail you woefully. And when it fails you, the problem with dealing with data is that all the stakeholders around you, all the people that depend on that data, they don't trust you anymore. All you needed to break the trust is just one mistake. One mistake with the data or with the report you presented, and they don't trust what you are saying. So for trend and pattern, they are actually a little bit different. Trend involves it's more of like a general this thing over a direction. Like for instance, you're talking about price, you're talking about temperature, you're talking about there's weather temperature, there's body temperature. So temperature is not the same. You're talking about pressure and all that. So it's majorly talking about the general direction of a signal. Just a line graph, a line chart in following one direction, right? For instance, if you want to track the number of people that buy your product every week, you have 4 weeks in a month. Every week, how many people made attempts to buy, then how many people actually bought. So with that, you can draw a line chart for that month, and then you can see, are they close? If they are close together, you can tell that the number of people that came to buy, that made attempt to buy, many of them, or over 80% of them, actually bought, right? If the line chart is close. But if the gap between the two lines is very wide, you start saying, I have to do more work. My marketing may be very poor. Then there is pattern. And pattern here involves, there's a particular way you can find a data. Let me give you this chart by the right side. You can see there's an upward trend, there's a downward trend, and then there's the sideways trend. All this one, the entire line here is called a trend, right? The entire line, starting from this blue down to this red, is a trend. But then there's something called pattern. What pattern is saying is that, for instance, you can see that there is a drop. Let me use pen to write here. Okay. So you can see that there is a drop here. There is a drop here, right? Towards the right, the curve, it kind of fell down. So if then it repeats itself here again. So this is what is called pattern. You've noticed that there's a particular period where the line falls down. So you take that into consideration. That's called a pattern. Then the entire line is a trend. I hope you are good. Or have I confused you, Demo?
Good, sir.
No, sir, we're following.
Follow, because there's going to be
We
quiz.
are good, Mr. Joseph.
There will be quiz. So if you
We
are
are good.
we will know. And I hope you are taking notes, because if you did not, we will know. Now it's just purely theory, so you shouldn't have issues. Then the next one is that we can improve, it can help us, data analytics can help us improve efficiency and effectiveness. So efficiency in this case is that we want to do better. We're talking about improvement. We want to do better. Then we also have effectiveness, to do things differently. Now, this is where data comes in. It helps you to do it better. It helps you to do it different. Helps you to, do things differently. Now, as easy as this may sound, when it's time for you to apply it, that's when you know that it's not that easy. Let me see. Just excuse me. I needed to mute someone. Yeah. So yeah, you can unmute yourself and then speak if you want to, or you can raise your hand and speak. So let me check what message you have for me here. Okay, iPhone said I'm kind of confused, or maybe you joined late. I didn't think you joined from the beginning. If not, you'll not be confused. But what are you confused about? Can you tell me? So, Marianne, yeah, the entire line is a trend. However, but inside the trend, a part of it is a pattern where you see that there's a repetition. We are going to talk, it's just for introductory parts, so don't take it serious. You see more of what we are talking about when we start doing Power BI visualization, right? So the entire line is a trend, and then some part of it, you can see a repetition. That part of it that is repeating itself is a pattern. And what I meant by that is, yeah, I use this to describe it. You can see this line here. It's kind of like falling, and then it also happened here. So when you see this repeating itself, that's a pattern. It repeats itself, falling twice. In fact, even 3 times. You see another one here. So you can see that the line tried to fall like 3 times. That's a pattern. But the entire line is a trend. Then the one going up is the upward trend. The one that is stabilized is the sideways trend. The one falling down is the downward trend. Don't worry, you don't need to trouble yourself too much about it. You will understand better when you get to Power BI. This is just to give you an idea of how data analytics can be very important for identifying trends and pattern. But then for you not to confuse trend and pattern, that's why we put we differentiate between the two. Then, okay. We talked about improved efficiency and effectiveness. Someone said she's confused. Let me see, who is that? Okay. So let's yeah, you're right actually. It's safe to say trend consists of patterns, and then different patterns make up a trend. You're actually right. So we'll look at the next one, which is to predict future behavior. For instance, churn analysis. churn analysis. In churn analysis, what we are talking about, yeah, to give you the slide, you're supposed to be taking notes. I actually did not owe anyone slide. I told you guys that you must take note. So even if I give you this slide, subsequent slide I may not give you. Because one of the ways I kind of ensure that you are active, you are actively participating, is that you are taking note. Yeah, I explained number 3. I explained number 3, but I'll explain it again. Let me see. Yeah, you have access to the video recording. That one is sure. No, you are not supposed to draw the diagram. I'm not that wicked. I'm not that wicked. So, yeah, here we are. Why is the light dimming? Okay, you're welcome. So we have improve efficiency and effectiveness. Someone said I should explain that before we move on. So improve efficiency is that with data analytics, we are supposed to be doing things better. We should be improving on the previous one. That's for the improve efficiency. And then for effectiveness, we are supposed to be doing things differently. I mean, if your data is already telling you that your sales, or for instance, not even sales, someone who is sick, the data shows that this person is having a high temperature. Lisa said, I've drawn the diagram. It's fine. It's fine. We're all learning. It's beautiful. So it's not a crime. So the for effectiveness, right? Someone who has who is ill, and then the data is showing that this person has a temperature, a high temperature. So if you are giving the person, maybe, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just giving an example. You are giving the person paracetamol before, we are expecting you to take it further and start giving the person a malaria treatment, right? So you are supposed to, your approach should be changing. Everyone actually use data every day. It's just that you are not aware that you are using data. So what you call intuition is actually you still looking at your environment, collecting data with your eyes, with your ears, with what you have seen before, and then making more informed decision using them. It's just that you didn't keep record of it. So since you didn't keep record, you cannot track it. And as long as you cannot track it, it's going to be a guesswork. Okay. So let me see if I have any question. Okay, so let's go into the next one. Then we have to predict future behavior. Actually, one of the very key factor, in fact, this is the dominant one. Data analytics for everyone is more of like, can you predict this, predict that? And one of the example I'll give to you is data scientists. Data scientists are majorly focused on this area of predicting future. And predicting things is not really like they are doing magic, or putting some jamborees together to perform the magic or something. What they basically do is that they take an algorithm. An algorithm is a mathematical implementation in the form of a program, right? And then the algorithm is now meant to identify pattern by looking at weights or numbers, and then being able to mathematically predict the next outcome. But I won't go into that much. But here is the simple thing I will leave with you. Here is how predicting the future works. It's not that difficult. So let's just talk about it. Let's say you have this algorithm. This is y. Y is equal to 2x, right? Y is equal to 2x. So here you have, what you have is an algorithm. You can actually write this mathematical equation as a program. So every time x is 1, that will be 2 times 1. Y now becomes 2. So if x is 2, that means y becomes 4. So what in terms of predicting the future, is that anytime you now have x to be maybe 3, already this algorithm